Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Roberta, your host, and I have a very special guest with me today. Um, we have only met through social media, but we really have been supporting each other, I think, over the past year. And I would love to introduce my new friend, um, Joy. Did I say that right? Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on here. I am going to hand it over to you. I want you to tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Amazing. Roberta, before we get started, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you very much for having me in your podcast. It is a blessing and a pleasure and an honor for me to come. And I think this is the first time I have a podcast with you and get to meet you in person. And like you said, we've been supporting each other in the social media. I think because we were on the same uh, educational background,
Mhm.
we learned some material from some great people, and for some reason we get to know each other in the social media, not in person, but because of what you do or what you did, it attract my attention, and I learn in life that in my journey that as I progress, trying to get to where I want to go, for some reason, God is good, and He will provide good people and great people into your life, and I think including you. So I have to take this opportunity to say thank you very much for having me. It's a great honor for me and a pleasure to be part of your podcast, and hopefully I or we can add value to your audience and the people that listen to this podcast.
Yes.
So
Oh,
yeah,
thank
I just want to
you.
get
Thank you. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's been fun watching your journey. So to hear you tell your story, it was way more than what I knew. So please share with everyone where you're from and a little bit about you. Thank you.
yep. As you were aware that English is my second language,
Mhm.
so I just want to get that one out of the way so I can have my confidence coming back, because
Mhm.
um, I used to go when I was young, and because I come from a background of faith, and I used to go to, when I have time, and do some scripture session with the primary school. This is when I was after high school. And I used to admit first, look, I have broken English because this is a language. English is my second language, and everyone was laughing. Why broken English? Because I just want to say that so that I just want to admit this is my weakness, but I'm trying to be perfect. So, let's get back to the question. My name is Joy Makaunga. Originally from a very remote island, tiny, small island. I mean, tiny island is like it's like you go to Fiji, but in Fiji there's a lot of tropical island, and I believe when I share Fiji, people, most of the people in the world, they are aware of Fiji because it's a holiday destination. And where I came from, it's a place called Tonga. But in Tonga, there's a lot of remote island. And I think I shared with you a little bit in my introduction to my bio. Is a little island called Niwa Tapu. And why I mentioned that, Roberta, because as I am now, I still remember where I come from. I won't forget where I came from, because the environment, the culture, the language, the people that make an impact and different in my life. I still carry them with me, in a good way, because in a positive way, because you know um the that environment have shaped my life, have make me and mold me who I am now. And everywhere I go, I would love to mention this island because there was no electricity. Uh, you know, um, we live out of a kerosene lamp most of the time, and the water was running sometime, and sometimes it's not. We're not running, and ocean and the sea, because it's a small island, and in the middle of the island we have a spring water there. It's like a swimming pool for us. When there's no water, we just run to the sea, swim, or we go to the spring water. And people live out of the land, and I remember back a lot of good memory. Living in the island is like adventure. You go hunting, you go, for food, you go, with play outdoor most of the time. I remember one Christmas we didn't have any gift because the boat only come once a month. And if the boat missed that month, which means you wait for another month for the boat to come. So and I remember that Christmas was there's no boat coming, so that they will bring something like toys and stuff for my parents to buy it for us for Christmas. And we just go to the ocean and just floating some make up some little boat and floating, like racing in the ocean as a Christmas, because we didn't have any toys, something like that. But we live and learn life. You don't need a physical toys to enjoy a big occasion like Christmas. You can have joy in life and have fun and adventure with nature. God already provide everything for us. Wherever we are in the situation and environment that we grew up, there is abundance and prosperity in everywhere. That when I learn it now as I grow in my personal development, that whatever things that we want in life, we already have it. It's already provided for us. We just need to be aware that we already have it, and we just have to implement it or use it or apply it so that we can have more abundance in life. Because we already born rich in life, we already born to be abundance and prosperity.
Yeah.
But I think that knowledge, we just need to have the understanding, the knowledge, and the wisdom, and it takes time. And like we learn from Bob, that um, it's all about understanding and education. Knowledge is come through study, and study come through repetition of doing something in a certain way, or repetition, uh, reading something or listen to something. So yeah, that's my background. Coming from the island, grew up there, but because in a remote island, there's a limited level of education, so we have to move from the small island to the mainland, where we have some piece of land there, and my grandparents already set up a house for us there, so we just moved there because of education. And from there, the journey continue on not only to the mainland, which is Tonga, Tonga is it's like Fiji, and Fiji have different remote island but for me, in Tonga, I came from the very far north of the island, which is far, far away, and it take like 3 days on a boat, or four days and night, 4 night to get to the mainland. And if you have to fly, you take you almost one day to fly there in a small plane. Yeah. So life, a lot of good memory, and I after 21 years, I went back with my son because I need to see take my son to see where I come from, where I grew up. And I remember when I went with my son, when we came back, he said to me, "Dad, there's no McDonald's in Niwa, Topu Tapu, but I'm happy. I see the kids every day. Kids come to my house and take him. Even I came one day and said to me, Dad, I can swim now. And I said, how? In Australia, I didn't take you to any swimming class. And he said that the local kids teach me. So that's how life back in the island. Everyone understand that sharing, caring is sharing. And
Yeah.
you helping other people too, because we get to know everyone in the island. It's a small population. I remember that time maybe about 5,000 people living that island. And
Wow.
but I'm very, very grateful, to be honest, Roberta, to grow up in an environment like that.
Mhm.
Uh, you know, you see that we grew up. We're not poor, but we didn't have the car, the the better house like we have in Australia. But we will survive. We have abundance food. We have everything that we need. And going to the ocean, um, fishing and picnic, enjoy things like that. Uh, and when we move to the main island, it's a little bit different. Everything start to cost money, and we have to pay for our food sometime compared to living in the island. But we adapt. I think that's one of the important things in life, that you have to adapt whatever situation that you are in. And from there, from Tonga, I did my high school there, and then I got an opportunity through a program uh, called Culture Exchange. And I remember the first time the principal called me, because I went to a boarding school, was a boys' school only. And it's a blessing to go into a boarding school, because and where I am now, and what I'm doing now as a part of the Australian Army. It's funny because when I look back, when I went to the initial training, it was hard. But a lot of the things that I learned when I grew up, sleeping on the floor, making my bed every morning, and learn to survive whatever food is in front of you. Doesn't matter whether you have mm, a meat and some bread. If you have bread only, you can survive, and water. It doesn't matter. So I learned those basic skill in life very young age. And I think when I move overseas, even though it's hard because it challenge, but when you look back, you can still bring those skill, those experience that you learn in life, and apply it, and it make a big difference. And a lot of people ask me, how did you do that? How, it seems to be like you are very adaptive to any kind of environment. But I share with them my story, where I come from, and they said, "Oh, okay, we understand. We understand. You've been through a lot." And I look back with a heart of gratitude, because I understand that what I'm doing now, where I am now, it's all what happened for me. It was happened for me. It didn't happen to me, but it's happened for me, because it's
Mhm.
all contribute. Everything from growing up in the island, learn to survive. What you can and where you can. It's all contribute to the big things in the future. And I look back and reflect back, and with a heart of gratitude, because I thank God that He put me in a place that I learned to survive on the land and the sea. And then when I moved to the main island, I went to a boarding school. I was away from my parents, and you know, I learned to adapt very quickly. Whatever food they put in front of me, making my bed, washing my own plates after those very small skill, it's all contributed to a big cause. And from that school, I remember I went to the principal. They called me up one day, and he said to me, "Joy, what do you do this Christmas?" And I said, "I have to go back to the island, because my dad was running a little business of making copra, which is coconut, and they making coconut and sell it overseas. And I have to go and help my dad on the school holidays, and he said to me, "No, you're not going back to the island this time, this holiday." And I was kind of curious what he mean. He said to me, "Are you going to Australia?" And I said, "Look, I haven't got any passport. I I don't have any money to pay for my airfare if that's what you want me to do." He said, "No, I just want you to say yes because everything is sorted out for you. After this, our conversation, you're gonna go to town with someone in our office, and we'll apply for your passport, and your airfare will be sorted out, and all you have to do is just go and represent Tonga. All the student from Tonga to exchange with another student in Australia." So that's my journey. I think I'm taking a few portion from the island, and one thing that I remember, Roberta, if you don't mind me sharing, grow up in the island. When we have school and we hear planes, go past, and or someone noticed plane, everyone was yelling, "Plane, plane!" So they have to stop, and all the kids are coming out and watch the plane. It's because it's not only exciting the kids, because that's the only thing that we see in the Western world, like from the outer world. It's to see the plane, but we only see is because they travel um, high up in the air, and it make us very exciting. School has to pause for a little while, so everyone can go run
Mm,
out, and then look at the sky. And I remember I went with my mom one day somewhere to collect mangoes, because mangoes everywhere. Everything is almost free every day, when it's fruit season.
mm,
We don't have apple or pear or orange, but we have orange, but in different kind of orange that we have back here in Australia. But certain type of fruits, and the mango is a big part of it. Mango and coconut. In the island,
love
coconut,
it.
then coconut or mango. So I went and collect coconut with my mango with my mom one day, and I hear the sound of the plane, and then I disappeared for a little while, and my mom was looking for me, and she found me staring at the sky, and my mom asked me, "What happened? What's going on?" And I just watched the plane travel past, and you know how it travel, the jet plane, it leave smoke, white smoke in the air, and that's all I see. I see a little white shiny object travel, and it's leave a path of smoke air, white smoke in its pathway. And I turned around and said to my mom, "Mom, I'm gonna travel the world one day." And I think my mom said, maybe thinking, "Oh, my son is dreaming." And I travel a fair bit now. Not that I say I travel a lot of places, but I have a few places that I already travel, not in my own expense, but with God grace. And I didn't know, but I learned now that when you say your words is very powerful, because when you say it, even to yourself or to others, someone is listening. And whether it's universe or God, whatever people believe in, and I respect that. But for my faith, I learned that I think God was listening to my wish and my dream. So I said to my mom, I'm going to travel one day around the world, and I'm been to a few places now, and I'm so grateful. To be honest, that trip from the island to represent Tonga in this culture exchange with the student, um, get start my another phase of my life. So from this remote island to the mainland, from the mainland to Australia, twice. And then I met my wife there. We become pen pal friend, and then from there we develop a relationship. But not long, um, we start to getting serious with our relationship. Within a year, we got married, and I didn't expect that I'm gonna get married straight away. I think I got married when I was 21. We were blessed with two children now, Roberta. My son just turned 21 last Tuesday, and my daughter will be 18 at the end of the year in October. So I, I I have been blessed, and I have to give back the glory and credit to God and also the people that make an impact in my life. And I think I said that in our introduction before. That's going back, including my parents, even though they are not with me now. But I always believe that their spirit is with me because sometimes when I smile, people remind me, "You smile like your mom." You got the cat. My daughter called me, Dad, you got a London teeth, which is my cap in my teeth, and which is my mom, have the same
Oh,
cap. And uh, when I smile, I think people will see my parents in me. And I think that's, we learn that even though they leave their physical body and their spirit may be going back to the origin where it come from, but I also do believe that we carry them with me, yeah, with
mm,
us. Where it reflect on my attitude and my um,
mm,
attitude to other people's in my journey because people remind me, you you look after me, you care about me just like your parents, and it's a good thing for me because I know their spirit is within us and within me, and everywhere I go, and I also remind my kids, if you have the right attitude toward yourself, toward God, and toward the world, and also others, you will go further in life because you will attract great people into your life. And I live by that philosophy because I know that your attitude will take you further in life. If you have the
yeah.
right attitude, you will have the right things appear in yourself, in your life, in your journey, and also the um, with other things that you really, really want to do in life. I think that's my journey, Roberta. I think I'm going a little bit um, uh, long on that question, but I hope I answer your question because from the island to the mainland, mainland to Australia, and when came to Australia was a big challenge for me. I have to leave the island, I have to leave the mainland, I have to leave my parents, I have to leave the people that I community with them, the people that they used to build my paradigm, and program me, when I grew up. But I realized when I came to Australia, it's a foreign country, foreign people. I have to start from the beginning. And I learned that, it's all a matter of awareness. When you have the awareness, you will be able to change. You will be able to adapt to any kind of environment or situation or challenge that you face in life. And I still experience that in my journey. I never said um, I I don't have more challenge or adversary in life. I think it's part of our journey. It's help us to become who we are. It become us, uh, I think, better or more in life if you really want to change things in your journey.
Yeah, let me ask you this. So, were your parents were very encouraging, and did they teach you about God when you were young, when you were little? And then also, what about you have like 11 siblings, brothers and sisters, right? So, those are the things that I'm thinking of. Like, okay, so and did they go on like you to travel and things? Just curious.
Yeah, I think I forgot to mention that I came from a big family, 11 sibling,
Mhm.
seven brother, four sister, and I used to. Every time I said that in Australia, everyone go like, "Oh, big family." And I used to, you used to make, um, just to make them laugh by saying, "Look, you have to understand. There's no TV back in the island. Mom and dad have busy production, so and everyone's laughing but it's like, it's a blessing. All 11 still around, and I think the oldest almost 60 now. I'm 43. I am the second to the youngest. I have a younger sister, but I'm the youngest in the boys. So seven brothers, four sisters, and like I said, I still give the credit and to them because my parents, they are the people who uh, start to program me, from very young age. I see them how they give. I see my mom how they um, uh, sharing what we have with our family. Even we're a big family, but when one of the things that I really learned from my parents is how you treat other people's. Even I watched my parents when I grew up. Um, every new people come to the island through work or some professional, uh, journey, especially teachers, government clerk, government people that work for the government, for the prison, for the judge. Um, they they came with their family and they didn't know anyone in the island. So my parents were like they're hosting them. My parents look, we have these, we have these. If we have crops, if you need food, just let us know. And it's my dad were and my parents were both of them. Sometimes we feel like they're more look after the other people than us. Because sometimes we have good things to like food, we have plenty, and mom take the good things and then we still have food to eat, but we see like when she cook, she always prepare the good stuff and get us, and that's how I learned. They said, take this food here, give it to these people there, and I used to say, Mom, but we don't have any food to eat if we keep giving, and then she said, don't worry. The more we keep, the more God will provide for us. And little things like that stay with us. And no matter, if a lot of people came to my house, no matter what I have, I still make sure that these people will remember this house when they come into it, whether it's a cup of tea, whether it's a scone or food. I just want to make sure that people are being looked after, and I think that's the thing that I saw in my parents at those little things in life. And I think Lopera, a lot of people they look at the big thing, but I think for me, if you focus and do the little things better, I think you can do more bigger thing in life by fundamental. I think the fundamental of life by make sure you treat other people like you want to be treated. I think is a great principle, and from our faith, and yeah, we grew up in a faith background. I remember faith it was a big part of it, and it's funny because my mom was a Catholic, and we all baptized and grew up in Catholic, very strong Catholic, and everything has to be Catholic. And my poor dad was a Wesleyan, which is like Methodist. I'm not sure in America how they call them, but Dad used to go by himself to church. And it's funny on Sunday, it's like all my mom and the rest of my sibling, including me, we all go walk to the Catholic church, and my boy dad just walked by himself to his church. And I think that's the thing that they were agreed when they married, that we have our own uh, church, but when the kids grow up, let's let them have their own choice. But I think because of my mom's strong faith in Catholic, she doesn't want anyone to go. to other kids. And there's a funny thing there. One day, as I grew up, I went to a boarding school. And I went through some tough discipline there. Okay, and like everyone's scared to go to my dad's school because they know what's gonna happen. Mom will discipline them in some way and you know tell them off or something like that. But one Sunday, I said to my mom, "Look, mom, today I'm gonna go with dad." And for some reason, he didn't stop me but I think by time they understand, it's not all about who they want us to be, but sometimes it's good to allow our children to make their own personal decision. And whether it's with faith, with professional, with what career. It's I think it's better sometimes that we have to understand that it's not all about what we want, because when they grow up we want them to become like this, like this, like this. But by time they grow up, they build their awareness, and it's good for them to have make some decision. So yeah, I end up joining my dad. I went to Sunday school. In Catholic, we went to ECL, which is like educational Christian, something like that. But when I went to the Methodist, they call it Sunday school, which is I attended. I end up doing drama, like in Sunday school every year. You know how in May we have Mother's Day?
Mhm.
So on the second Sunday, uh, back in the island, on the first Sunday of May is Kids Sunday, which is some island call it White Sunday, which is all about the children. And the second Sunday is Mother's Day, and the third day is the Father's Day. We did the three in 1 month instead of having Father's Day in September. We have
Mm.
Father's Day, Children Days, um, Mother's Day, and Father's Day back in the island. That's how we celebrate those three. So when I moved to Australia, we didn't have Father's Day on the third Sunday of May. We have it we wait until September, and then we have a Father's Day. But because our background, we still kind of like, you know, remember that's Children's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day. So grew up in the church. I involved, and I think like you talking about the confidence.
Mhm.
Like I learn and understand now that everything happened for you. It's it's how you making. It's
Mhm.
who I am now is still part of the thing that is. But you learn in life that you learn to reprogram, learn to readapt. Learn to write a new code, new software, as you progress or grow personally and professionally. So I joined the Sunday school, and in on the Children Day in May, the in March, we give us some scripture or some story from the Bible, and you take part of it. It's like a skit or it's like a little story that we dramatize. And on that Sunday, we dress up nicely, we have nice food, but we have to perform. We stand in front of the people, reading the Bible that we memorize some of the verse, like the Psalm, the Gospel, the New Testament, the Old Testament, and we stand in front. And I remember the first time I I I stand in front and performance, and I think I was reading a hymn, and I have to memorize it. And after we came back, one of my sisters said to me, I didn't like how you perform this morning. And I said, why? She said to me, because when you speak, it was not you. Because this is how I stand in front, and I changed my voice to like an old man, even though I was like 11 or
What?
12 at that time. My sister told me, why don't you be just like you? And I still remember that. And that advice still stick with me. Everywhere I go, I don't have to
Mm.
be other like other people, or
Yeah.
pretend that I'm like the other people. Just be like me. Just say my own voice because there's a gift there, and I didn't really understand it. But like you said, those little things like standing in front of the church and do some drama or skit help me build my confidence. I didn't like it when I was growing up because
Right.
it's out of my comfort zone.
Mhm.
But the more I did it every year, it started to build my confidence because when people admire what you do, well, for example, if I do a drama and um I act a part of a king, and I have to be like the king. I show up like the king. I speak like the king, and people came after. They said, "I really like your performance," and I said, "What do you mean?" And they said, because you're very good. You're very confident. You're very, um, you show your character, just like what is in the Bible, even though I'm Joey, but you become the king, David, in the drama. And that little recognition have inspired me or planted a seed on me that wow, I can make an impact. I can make a difference in people's life. And I remember when I used to go to the primary school and do some scripture session, I remember one day I went and I share my story, I share my journey, and I share my testimony, how God has changed me to be a better person. And I remember I saw one child was tears running. And for me, it still stick with me because I think I make a impact or different in people's life. And so building confidence, I grew up in an environment of faith, and it's helped building my confidence, even though I was not, you know, where I am or I
Yeah.
want to be. But it's, those things my parents always encourage me, doesn't matter what I do. They always encourage me to, you know, go out of my comfort zone and, try more, and
And
even
don't you think that that helped you when you were in drama and you step into like a new identity, right? And so it you think, wow, I could be anyone I choose to be.
mm,
Did that kind of give you that encouragement, especially when people come up and tell you how what a great job you did?
mm, yeah, it's so true because those feedback
Yeah.
help you to kind of have the awareness that eh, I can make more impact and difference in people's life. I can make a contribution. I can make an influence. So, grow up, I think I'm not comparing because I learned in life comparing is the biggest thieves of joy.
Yeah.
And, my sibling were all contribute to me, in a lot of way, like discipline, because I was the youngest and, you know, um, even though I travel more than all of them. I live in a different country, and you know, um, but I still respect them because
Mhm.
I won't forget what they, say, what they give
Mhm.
me or share with me that help me build my confidence. So, moving to Australia is a big challenge, but I learn and understand that as I grow as a person, you know, everything happened for me was meant to be because, it helped me to contribute more and influence and make an impact and difference in people's life. So yeah, but that's for my, for the question about the confidence. Everything happened for me was
Mhm.
for a reason for me to build my character, build my identity, build my brand, my image, and I still reflect them. Everywhere I go, I still, give the credit back to whoever was make a big impact in my life, including my parents, my sibling, you know, um, my teachers at high school, primary school, mostly high school, because that's when you have the, awareness that I think in high school time, that's when it's an enjoyable journey, but at the same time, that's when a lot of things start to start to sticky, start to stick with you because and in that phase of that teenager phase, a lot of things happen to challenge the adversary, the youth challenge and the teenager challenge. It's all contribute to, but those memories stick with me. And I still remember those high school teachers that make impact with me. Most of them, they passed away. I still give the credit to them. And I still use some of their quote that they, or their words they said to me in my posts and my, in my social media, because, that's, that's their legacy that I still want to pay it forward. And if it make a difference for myself, I believe it will do make a big difference in other people's life.
Yes, I love it. Oh my goodness. You have such a story. You have overcome so many things. I know you even when you were young, you had some kind of accident or something I didn't get to hear. And then just a few years ago, too, I believe. So
Mm.
you overcame all of that. And I think the basis of your upbringing definitely helped you prepare for that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think I have to lift up the pace now because I'm aware of the time. You
Yeah.
know, yeah,
Yeah.
two events that happened to my
Mhm.
life that make a big change, a big difference. And I think I can call it a light bulb moment. One was happened when I was about 9 years old. My dad raised up us in the small island. That's his island. That's where he grew up, and we lived there for. Dad worked there for 21 years and raising up there. Running his little. He worked for the government as a telecommunication officer, and
Mhm.
he was um, able and afford to build us a nice two-story house on the island, and we have a little uh, grocery shop
Mhm. Okay.
and running the little business of the copra, making copra on the side of his full-time job. And we have a pool table little business. So, grew up in the island. After 21 years, that got promoted from the mainland to come over and work there. So, and that's where and some of my older sibling already moved to the main island to continue on their study. So dad has to come and work for the government in the mainland and also look after the older sibling. And we're only the younger was still stay with us, with mom back in the island. For some reason, I was very sick and um, I was end up in hospital. And it's funny, I still remember dad said for 11 sibling, only one has submitted to the hospital. It was me. And I went there for about a month and they couldn't find what's going on with me. And I still don't know what's the kind of disease that I have, but it was funny because in 1 second, I was having a very high fever. My temperature just hit the roof. I think 40 plus. And then 1 second, I was shivering, I was freezing. And doctor couldn't work it out. But what they noticed, because at that time back in 80s, is the cassette, audio cassette. And the way how we communicate is that record a speech for us on a video cassette. And it's funny because now I listen to Jim Rohn, I listen to Bob Proctor audio, any audio that I can listen to, it's helped me inspire, it's helped me in my personal growth. Anyway, going back. So the doctor noticed every time the cassette that sent to us as like instead of writing, he recorded his words in in an audio cassette and mailed it to us. So when that cassette's playing, all my sickness has been released, you know, temporarily. And then when I don't listen to the audio, my dead voice, I got sick again. So from memory, I almost died. And what happened? My doctor communicate to that time. There's only two-way communication. They have the two-way radio and the Morse code. That's what my dad was expert in, the Morse code. Back in the old days, and my doctor communicate to the main island that my dad need to come because he noticed something is changed in my condition every time I listen to his audio cassette. And my dad was asking permission to come, but I think for some restriction and at that time the government didn't really want to let him come back to the island. So I now remember Dad told me later that he told him that he's gonna resign because my life is more important to him than the job.
Wow.
And for some reason, the government hired a plane and flew my dad over to that island just to come and get me from the island to bring over to the mainland. But the miracle was happened like as soon that arrived at the hospital and I listened to his real voice, all my sickness was gone.
Oh
And
my
that,
God.
took me before the rest of the sibling to the mainland, and I went there and continued on my study in high school. That's the first event, and I reflect back on my journey. Sometimes God is calling you in a different ways and, or remind you something in a different way. And in my case, it was through some medical condition. So I survived that and moved to the mainland, end up in Australia. And in 2020, I got a heart attack. I was admitted to hospital. I was very sick. I didn't know what happened, and my wife was because I always active. I always, I work free job at that time. I work full time, and also come and get change and go to the supermarket at night and stacking shelf. And I always do the drink, stacking the soft drink or the juice, always the heavy stuff. In my mind, I was thinking this is my physical exercise. I can do this as instead of going to the gym, I just um, lifting heavy stuff and I just get paid for it. And also at the weekend, I painting house and cleaning house for professional people like lawyers and doctors, which is I learn a lot from those experience. But what happened, it's burned me out. I was overworked, I was exhausted, didn't look after my health, especially my sleep.
Mhm.
And my eating was, and I was not look like this. I put on the I remember I hit the scale almost 110. You know, yeah, I was big, and it didn't help with the food that we have in Australia, like the KFC, the McDonald's. You just want a fast food, and so that keep you going. I
Mm.
would end up in hospital. I got told I had a heart attack, and thank God everything was checked and clear. Um, and from that, and I remember when I was in hospital, laying in bed and look at the ceiling, a lot of things go through my mind, and one of the things that come to me is what is really important in life. And
Mhm.
I remember I know that the things that giving for us for free in life, we don't really value it. Our health, our mind, our spiritual, we don't really value it. We don't really invest to help those things that was given for us for free.
Mhm.
But the thing that we spend money on it, the car that we have, the house that we have, we kind of like want to make sure that we look after those things. But the things that we're giving for us for free, sometimes we just ignore them by ignorance, and don't look after that, especially our mind, our health, and our
Yeah.
physical being. So, you know, and I stared at the ceiling and I said to myself, something has to change, and it goes back to my first medical condition happened in the island. I said, I think God give me second chance, something, because he want me to value
Mhm.
what he gave to me.
Yep.
And not only that, but I think God want me to always have a plan for me. And I learned that in the Sunday school that, God have a plan for you, no matter what, your journey is.
Yep.
And I think that from Sunday school, I remember that uh, uh, the evil and God plan. Evil plan is to destroy you
Mm.
and to, take uh, everything from you. But I think God plan for you is to have abundance, to have more, and so that you can give more and share that more that abundance with the world. So uh, that epiphany said I said to myself, for things to change, I have to change. And that's where my journey was start. I was looking, and I know that I have to start with what I think, and that's when Bob showed up in my world. Bob, I was listening to something on my phone going to work, and Bob video came up, and because Bob video it just related to my dad. My dad was like a philosopher, like his word was so wise, and he can discipline you with his word only. It can make you cry or make you happy or make you feel good, inspired. But my mom is like the nutrition because mom was the healer. Like she heal young babies when they're young,
Mm.
especially when they can't sleep at night for some medical condition. Mom can mix few things, leaves, and
Mm.
get us to drinks. And it's funny because I'm into the health and nutrition professional now. I
Mm.
look back, like I said, everything happened for me. And what I saw in my parents, what
Right.
I was doing now. So yeah, that's just the two main big events. So it take me to Bob. I was very fortunate to be Bob Proctor student on the BPC program, Bob Proctor coaching for 1 year. And I think I was one of the last student to be on his program before he passed away in 2022. And I think that's how we connect.
Yes, yes, I'm sure that's how. And I was actually in his program. So he passed in February of 22 and
Hmm.
and then my year was finished in April. So I was one of the last two, I believe, like
Same.
you.
Yeah, because I think I start with the coaching program in April. No, no, February of
Okay.
2021. And I
Okay.
finished in February 2022 when he passed away in
Mm.
around that time. And that lead me, that connection, have opened my minds a lot. I still got his resource with me, the material. Bob get me to read books, and I bought a lot of books um,
Yeah.
because of Bob. And I think I want to say something, but I want to quickly right back.
Okay. Oh
You
my
still remember me?
goodness. Wow. Whoa, look at that. Did you make that?
No, actually, there's a friend in America who they are
Okay.
they're doing a little business, and we get
Yeah.
connected on the program too. So oh, someone is trying to ring me.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. He was such an inspiration and he was teaching up until his last time here on this earth. It was amazing.
Oh
Such an
yeah,
incredible man.
yeah.
And oh, I just I love your story. I love your journey. You're so inspirational for so many people to hear everything. And we're going to have to come back on. Okay. We'll do this again in a few weeks or something because I want to talk about where you are now and all the things that you're doing. Okay.
Yep.
So we'll do that. But I have to tell you, the one thing about you, you're talking about drama and all this. I love how you're dancing and you're just free and you're you. And I love that authenticity because that's what I'm about is just finding who you are and being that person and allowing that person to come out.
Yeah.
That's a lot what this podcast is about, is allowing your authentic self and just be you and have fun.
Mm. Yeah. I think when you music is part of me because in our background we dance a lot. We have traditional dancing, and our most of our traditional dancing is like the girl dance in front, and we are the back dancer, and we are the one who make the mess.
Oh,
The girl are so gentle in front of the camera, but we are the when they jump around at the back, and it's so much fun. But I think the culture, help bring the authenticity and the your own brand, and I saw that in my journey. So, I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to be on your podcast. And I know we can have another one in the future because there's a lot more to share. And I hope that we add value to our audience. And I'm so grateful. Roberta, I think, like I said before, when you have the right attitude toward the world and toward others, you will start to attract great people into your life. And I'm very fortunate that we keep in touch and
mhm.
supporting each other. And that's one of the things that I have to get your book. So because I want to read more about your journey and your daughter. Beautiful. So I saw I watched your daughter interview with you.
Oh,
So amazing. It's funny because I see you on here too in a
I
lot of
know.
so
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, yes. And that's where we had to come out of that victim mentality because it was hard for a while when you're knocked down that hard.
Yeah.
But being around, watching others and what they have been through and seeing your inspirational story has just really helped me too. So thank you. And gosh, yeah, and you're going to be working on a book, I believe.
Yep.
You have your own book. Have you
Yeah.
started? Have you started your
It,
book?
I think it's in here,
Okay.
but I just need to work with the process to put in a physical paper so that I keep saying to myself that I will write a book one day, and I wrote that on my goal card that I will have a book one day.
Well, I'm going to hold you to that. But what I'm going to
Yeah.
encourage you to do, because this actually, it's been a couple of months and I had this idea and
Mm,
it was like in the middle of the night I had every chapter of my next book just came to me.
mm.
So, I think that's a great place to start is to start just writing down the chapters and you want it to look like and then let it progress from there.
Yes. And I think doing podcast with you, because as an entrepreneur, and I think we can talk about it on the next one. I learned to tell the world and just
Mhm.
figure it.
Yeah.
And this is part of me telling the world. I'm telling you my story. Everywhere I go, I share my story because that's how I create my own movie, create my own book. Because even though I haven't written in down, but the more I share to people, the more it remind me, you gotta put this in a physical book so that instead of sharing with two ways and one people, maybe the book will, have expand your reach and your impact to people's life through the book, through the book, so that people can read it and share it with other people too. And I think you already experienced that with your journey. And I just want to quickly say something that in regard to my name, I used to think that my dad make a mistake,
Mm.
wrote my name as a Joye. You know, people call me Joey, people call me Joseph, and Joy. But I learn now, like with your feedback in regard to my funny dancing and stuff like that. It's it's a joy, Joy, but plus E with energy. So, it's when people give me the feedback about my dancing,
Yeah.
I do it for fun and I do it because I want to make people happy. And when I grew up, when I was young, I always laugh, and everywhere I go, I make people laugh. And I think that's the thing that in regard to my personality, it's good to have some happiness in your life,
Oh,
and we need that in everyday life because joy and happiness is something that you really want to take with you on your journey, because not all the time you're going to be happy or joy,
mhm.
but when you have that moment, let it out and just play a music and just go because you never know, because you
Yeah.
know someone out there, it's down, but they need to see that energy, need to attract that energy, because it will help them to inspire. And I mean inspire, you help someone out there to look up a little bit better. And I think that's the whole idea of sharing the love and sharing the joy and happiness, is to help people to look up a little bit better, because a lot of people nowadays, they look down, and you
Mhm.
know you know they just need to be look up a little bit better, and inspire and empower their. That's because you and I understand that we are God's highest form of creation, and we're here in this world for a purpose. And
Mhm.
I think that purpose is to make an impact and difference in people's life through our work, our words, our deed. And maybe with you, with your book, with your podcast, and myself sharing my journey and my story. I think we can inspire a lot of people by, instead of holding for us and keeping to us, but to share it with other people too.
Wow. Th- I mean, seriously, you nailed it. You said it so beautifully. And I know that you inspired some people today. Maybe you need your own podcast.
Now you started me. Yeah.
Right?
I might need to get some tip from you.
Yes. Yes. And I'm going to continue encouraging you with your book too. So for sure, maybe I can help you with that. I don't know. And that's what
Mhm.
this is about. We're here to serve
Mhm.
and we're here to find our purpose on earth. And that's what we're doing. And every little day, every little thing that we do, whatever comes back to you, you know that that's just part of your journey. And I love it. Thank you again. Thank you so, so much for your story and your wisdom. And I appreciate you so
Roberta,
much.
thank you so much once again. And look, it's a pleasure and an honor. And words not enough for me to express my gratitude and my gratefulness, because we finally meet
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
face to face. And I think this is not the beginning and the last. I think we can collaborate in a lot of way in the future. So feel free to reach out to me. I'm sorry that I have to keep you waiting for another 20 or almost or 10 minutes, because I have to like, freshen up and shave and get ready to this podcast. And the time difference is good because it make me, keep me growing in life, and with my other avenue and my other professional, it's the challenge. It's the time different. When we have meeting, it's the time different, but it's good. I keep telling myself it is good.
It is good. Thank you for waking up at 5 a.m.
Pleasure. You're more than welcome.
to do this. I appreciate it. Thank you again, Joy. This has been such a great conversation. And, you know, I, I mean, I know that you have felt it today, all of the empowerment here and feel free to reach out. We'll have all of the information here for Joy under the podcast. Reach out to him and I like to always end this with the one thing about that I can remember about my grandma is that she didn't like goodbyes. She didn't like to say goodbye. So instead of goodbye, I leave my podcast just like my grandma did with so long.
See you later.
So long. See you later.